Thank God. Well, at least that's over. Whoa. Is that it? Glad that's over. Whew. Glad that's over. Well, at least that's over. All right, let's do this.
is it now? What you got? Uh-huh, okay.
What can I do for you? You know where to find me.
I didn't believe Bo when he said y'all went in the crystal. Alice is a great cook.
Hey, over
When she
here!
bothers to do it,
God damn, it is you! The rumors had me thinking I might not ever see you again. They said you ran off with that old Ford fella and disappeared. I ain't seen you since. Where have you been? Ha! That tracks. Someone gets in trouble, so you go on after her. Just remember you owe me still. That debt's non-transferable. I'm guessing this thing with Clementine had something to do with that big-ass crystal floating over there. Bo said it can take you other places. Other worlds, even. Feels like anything can be true here. They even healed my root rot. I tell you what, I might just start believing in fairy tales. Even Santa Claus and Fulton's Blend. Yeah, I don't know what's in that stuff Doc Nora gave me, but I ain't felt this good for years. Hell, maybe it was Fulton's Blend. Ah, you know me. I get anxious sitting still for too long. So, I went out to the ruins and scrounged anything useful I could find. I was just doing what I do to survive, you know. Maybe get some things together for when we moved on, but then you didn't come back. And Bo said folks around here could use this stuff, so I set up shop. So hey, if you ever need anything out there in the worlds or whatever, you just let me know. I got all kinds of stuff for trade. What you want to ask me? You know me. I don't settle so much as stop moving on for a while. Though, I like any place with a warm bed and decent food, but now that I think about it, There's something different about this place. I mean, besides weird shit like floating crystals and girls that shoot light out of their hands. The people here are... they're good. They help each other. I think most of them like each other. I ain't seen that in a long time. Maybe ever. I don't know if you've met them all yet, but do, eh? They're good folk. And I can tell you who does what if you want. I've been around here long enough for that, at least. You'll want to talk to Reggie. He's got all kinds of cures and tonics. A fix to what ails you, he says. And while you're over there, see if you can figure out what's going on with that old mudtooth. He's got some crazy stories, but I can't tell if any of them are true. His stew's pretty good, too, once you get used to the smell. It'll keep you on your feet for days. Have you met Dwell yet? That's a no, then. You'd know for sure if you talked to him. He calls himself a Pan from some place called Yesha. I tell you what, I don't understand half of what he's talking about. But the crystals he sells are like nothing I've ever seen. Might be just what you're looking for. I don't know. Why? You ready to move on or something? Oh, I get it. You just want to know if I've gone soft for this place, huh? I admit, I'm starting to take a shine to it. This is the first place in a long while that's felt anything like home. I mean, you know me. Comfort makes me skittish, but I don't know. It feels like it'd be hard to get too comfortable in a place with glowing portals and talking goats. Anyway, I just want to stick around and see what happens next, at least for now. We'll see. Need something else? You know where to find me.
Greetings, traveler. What can I do for you? Oh, yeah? What kind of questions? Old as teeth, friend. Old as teeth. Everything we know comes from Founder Ford. That title don't come from nowhere. He was there at the start. When the world ended, about 120 years ago, give or take a decade, Ford and some survivors took shelter in old Ward 13 over there. I don't know how many wards there were, but they were all part of something called the Dreamer Project that went bad. Real bad. There are rumors. Some say he made a deal with the Root, and that's why he's so hell-bent on stopping him. Some say he was experimented on in the Dreamer Project. Some say he found some kind of magic out there in the years when he was traveling the worlds. Truth is, nobody knows. Maybe not even Ford himself. Personally, I think Ford's just tough as dirt and refuses to die. Ford and Clementine are the only ones what really know, and they don't like to talk about it. But old Reggie's got a gift for collecting stories, and I've gleaned a few things. At the wards, see, they connected people to machines that made them dream about other worlds. But these worlds were real, and the dreamers were seeing through the eyes of someone that lived there. Sounds like a bridge too far, don't it? It did for me, too. At least until I met Clementine. The story's pretty long, friend. Let me know if you get tired of the telling. After the world fell, see, Founder Ford carried the whole burden of what happened on his shoulders. Tell the truth, I don't think he ever put that burden down. But let's see, where were we? Ah, yes. Founder Ford carried a heavy burden in those earlier days. Probably still does. But what could he do? At first, nothing. He pressed on with the work of helping others survive. If you ask me, that was the best thing he could have done. And it never should have stopped. Maybe he wouldn't have if Evelyn hadn't. See, Evelyn was his wife, and she was something special. She could, hear the root, see what they saw. At first, she thought she was going insane. But then she started using it, spying on the dead wood. And she saw something coming. Something big. She saw a monster, something the ward, the whole city couldn't handle. And only one way out. She communed with the root, I guess you'd call it. Melded her mind to theirs and drove the monster off. But the root swallowed her, body and mind, until there was nothing left of Evelyn Ford. Her husband lost it then. He left the ward for months, sometimes years at a time, wandering the worlds trying to find something, anything that could stop the root. And one day, he just didn't come back. Well, now my story's not through yet. The Fords, they had a daughter, Nadine. She was maybe 17 when her mother disappeared. Too young to run the ward, but when her pa was gone, folks would ask her their questions instead. Then one day, she was just in charge of everything. Nadine had her own daughter, Ellen, who really made us who we are today. Commander Ellen Ford inherited her mother's pragmatism, her grandfather's doggedness, and her grandmother's willingness to make hard choices. So whenever someone showed up, dehydrated, starving, half mad from loss, she took them in, taught them a trade in medicine and supplies, gave them a family. So you were paying attention. I owe a lot to Ellen Ford, and we all do. And I miss her something fierce, let me tell you. She was one of the dreamers, if you could believe it. The only one still alive, as far as I can tell. She says she got sucked out somehow, dragged into her dream world before the root came to Earth. I don't understand it much. I reckon she don't either. But she found herself in a place called Riesel, a world covered in snow and inhabited by giant intelligent rats. Don't know how she survived, but I imagine it has to do with those powers of hers. Hey, that's the story I still haven't gotten out of her. Sure is. But power like that don't come without a cost. I can only imagine what it must take out of her to control a power like that. Oh, about 20-odd years ago, we had almost nothing left. Trapped in Ward 13 with nowhere to go and the root getting worse all around us. Then this stranger wanders in out of the storm, makes friends, picks up some gear, and damned if they don't take the fight to the root. I still don't know if that wanderer was crazy or brave or both, but they did it. They beat the root, and things got better day by day. Once it seemed safe to live outside again, Commander Ford made plans to build this town here. She was a force, that woman. Founder Ford came back once. Did I mention that? Almost 60 years ago, right after his daughter Ellen's mother passed away. Ellen couldn't have been more than 18 at the time, but she told him the war didn't need him. Didn't have room for some legend who was just as likely to leave as to lead. I reckon Founder Ford saw the wisdom of that, because a while later, he left again and didn't return for a long time. When he finally did, he wasn't leading us no more. He was content to leave the ward in better hands. Ellen's hands. Well, she fell sick some time ago. Most of us have lost folks without any chance to say goodbye. But we got that with Ellen. Why, she even made things right with her grandfather before the end, or so I hear. The two of them together put Bo in charge of the ward. No one was more surprised about that than Bo. But you know what? He's the right man for the job. Ain't no one loves a ward, loves these people more than the kid who was raised by him. He's gonna do all right. The Wanderer was on a mission from the start. Said something about getting to the tower on the old atoll out there. Sounded crazy the first time I heard it. But turns out, that tower was one of the old wards. The Wanderer's path wasn't easy, though. Our Wanderer had to track down Founder Ford just to find a way in. And that... just you wait. I'm getting to that. Well, Ford, it seemed, had gotten himself mixed up in another world's affairs, helping a rebellion out here. And he was imprisoned for it. Now, no one here knew that, but the Root Mother knew. And that's who our Wanderer left to see. The Root Mother's got a story all her own, and I don't know half of it. Before she was the Root Mother, she was Evelyn Ford. That's right, the Founder's wife. Bound herself to the Root, she did, and it changed her. Turned her into something else. But when the Wanderer showed up, she pulled herself out. The Root Mother, or whatever she called herself after that, sent our Wanderer down a trail of sorrow, at the end of which was the Founder himself. The Wanderer freed him, and used his knowledge to get into the tower, and destroy the last Dreamer. Or what we thought was the last Dreamer anyway. It did weaken the Root for a time, but I guess that weren't the whole story. So, the Dreamer was dead. The storm subsided, but the Root, they were still around. Then Founder Ford tells us about the oldest ward, the first one, where the Dreamer Project began. He hoped there might be some clue there as to why the Deadwood was still coming to our world. So our Wanderer goes a-hunting. Oh, they found more than even old Ford bargained for. You ain't wrong. Place was full of doors. And I'm not talking about the quiet humankind. One of these doors led to the world of Reason, where the Wanderer found Clementine. Clementine opened a door what nobody else could have opened. And inside? I hate to admit it, but I don't know what they found inside. All I know is the Root stopped coming when the Wanderer and Clementine were through. They'd done it. Saved the whole damn world. Just making sense of things. Stories make us who we are. If we don't share them, don't learn from them, we're just bouncing around in the dark. Let's see what we got going on here. Keep your wits about you.
My brother, actually. Though now that you mention it, you remind me of Brad, too.
Yeah, I know.
I ain't got much to say, traveler.
Feeling all right?
Survive like
Let me know
everybody
if you're
else.
not. Go on then. Huh. Tons. The old humans knew a lot about the human body, it turns out. Stuff even Grandpa didn't know. Did you know they used to be able to replace a man's lungs with someone else's? Or put a dead man's liver in someone whose liver didn't work anymore? Huh. To think of all the folks Grandpa and I could have... Oh, there was plenty we could use. So much that Grandpa eventually stopped complaining about my scrounging. Most of the basic meds are long gone, but there's still plenty of specialized tools and ingredients there. Stuff no one knows what to do with but me and my grandfather. What they don't got, what I never found once, is a cure for root rot. That's why so many folks die. All right. Let me know if you see something you need. around.
Hey again. I hope it's stories you want, 'cause I got plenty. Questions? Oh, oh, here's a good one. You heard about the old wards, right? Hell, you should have. You're on top of one. The wards were where the root were born. Government experiments, you understand. Well, the oldest one, Ward Goose Egg it's called, was where it all started. And that's where it was worst, see? So this mad scientist by the name of, let me see now, what was his name? Leto was his name. He says there's only one way we can stop what we made and save the world. So he flies his heliopopper. They flew back in those days, see, that's what they were built for. And he looks down at the ward where the root are pouring out like ants. He says, blow that sucker up. And boy, they did. Blew the whole damn thing. Didn't stop the root, though. I mean, obviously. You'll like this one. You ever wonder what the world was like before the Deadwood came? Well, pull up a chair, young'un. The world was filled with people. I'm talking millions, maybe even bazillions. Why, you couldn't sneeze without snotting someone in the face. Now, these folks weren't like us nowadays. They had so much food that they would eat for fun. They'd get together to eat the extra meat. They had spare ribs, called it a barbecue. They were immune to all kinds of diseases. And every one of them, every one, had a puppy. Huh. And that there world was run by, let's see here, oh, yeah, I'm getting to it. And the world was run by, let's see here, what was it now? Presidentures, yeah, that's it. On account of the ceremonial wooden teeth. Whole damn world was ruled by the presidentures of the United States, yes, sir. It was a better time then. Folks resolved their differences by coming together, listening to each other's problems and trying to solve them together. Oh, I guess that's what young Bo's trying to do with this place, ain't he? He ain't done half bad so far, neither. I reckon you gotta go through the bad to get to the good again. It's always there waiting if you just keep on looking. Ho, 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 ho! Here's a good one. I ever tell you about the Shrouded King? No, it ain't a book. It's real, I tell you. Real as every damn story I know. He's the king of another world, see? And his world was overrun by the root just like ours. Or at least it was gonna be. The Shrouded King, he got his people together to draw as much power as he could from his own ding-dang-dingity son. Used it to make himself a weapon. Soon as the root showed up, he fired the damn thing. Now the king, he knew what was about to happen, but he didn't tell nobody. That weapon weren't just gonna scorch the root. No, it scorched the whole dim darn dingity world. Burned the Deadwood the hell out of there. Killed half his kingdom and twisted the other half into something unrecognizable. And that's why he wears a shroud, see? Because he done twisted himself in the process. But he don't want no one to see the mangledy bits of his face parts. That's too bad. I can tell you right now, you won't be disappointed. I'll be seeing you then.
traveler returns. This is Earth before the Root came. No, wait. After. After the Root came 121 years ago and killed over 97% of the world's population. They counted. Ah, sorry. This is our home. Our place. Everyone's got a place. Root attacks have slowed down here some since the old days, but they're still around. I mean, you knew that. The door was destroyed. All the doors. They can't come in no more, but they're trying. They'll never stop trying. I see things. Always have. Things I don't want to see. Things no one else sees. It's the Root. They're connected. We're connected through the sight. When I was a kid, I thought they were nightmares. My big brother Mark talked me through them. Things were easier with Mark. Then Mark died. And the Root mother came. She was something else. Not rude, not human, but I was drawn to her. Commander Ford didn't want me talking to her. It didn't stop me. She told me what I was seeing. Taught me to use it. Taught me how not to use it. I'm one of the few people that misses her, now that she's gone. My people here. They need the sight. Like you and your friend need it. I see what the Root sees. Past, present, future. Worlds to be, and worlds long gone. They see everything. Too much, and not enough. They obsess, the Root. Focus, cessation, serenity, similitude. But they can't see past oblivion. And they can't see all ends. Can't see their end. Death and oblivion. A flaw that became perfection. The Root only want to kill, to annihilate, to silence. Yeah. Blessed silence. Serenity among the ashes. Everyone asks. No one wants the answer. That's what they say. It's never true. The Root won't ever stop. And they can never die. When one falls, another takes its place. Always. For the Root, there's no time. Patience is just existence. Doors close and doors open. And the Root waits behind every one. They see only one end. The end of everything. There's no other outcome. I'm sorry. That's not what you want to hear. It never is. Oh, I've seen you a bunch of times. They think about you a lot. That's how I knew where you were, and where you would be. That's how I knew I'd meet you today. I don't know anything. I see what they see, the shapes of things, the silhouettes of events so certain they can't be changed. If I hadn't told Clementine you were out there, you wouldn't be here. But I saw you here, clear as day. They saw you. Imagine the things I'm not telling you. Oh, there's a lot of things coming. And you're in the middle of most of them. Who the hell knows why? But it starts with Ford. I've seen it. Don't worry. You will later. Sorry. Was this the first time? Hmm. Goodbye, traveler.
Greetings. Forgive me. I am not good with Paxeltic faces. Of course, Paxeltic. Paxeltic, foreign to the Pan, meaningless. Perhaps on Paxeltic world, but it is at home on Dwell's tongue. Yes, that is always the question. I am Pan, from the world of Yesha, where the Eternal Empress reigns, the Doe and Ravager run free, and the balance breathes life to the jungle. Or so it used to be. Alas, it is not. Long and long have the Immortals oppressed the common Pan, wielding their power as if it were something they had earned or deserved. The Pan have rebelled against this tyranny, and for a time, it looks as if we could win. Then the pestilence came. What Paxeltic call the Root. When I last saw her, Yesha languished under the pestilence. Ah, yes. Ah, yes. You must return soon.
How's the ward treating you? I could treat you worse if you like. What you looking for? Yeah, that'll do nicely.
Maybe just need to go
Watch
see
your
Remnant.
back.
They can
Yeah,
probably
know
help
who
us,
to
huh?
trust out there.